For more on this, we're joined by criminal law expert Ian Allis to give us some insight. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. The latest statistics paint a very bleak picture for Gauteng, especially also learning that Johannesburg is the murder capital of the province. How should these latest numbers be interpreted?
Good evening, Paul, and good evening to the viewers. The numbers make for very, very bleak reading. The problem is that the accuracy of those statistics are also in question, and they may also be at this present moment a little bit generous as far as what the actual crime rate in actual fact is. And I'd say that from the concept of, with the statistics, there's a lot of mixtures, especially in regards to violent crimes and non-independent violent crimes, where you've got your different type of issues, where there might be relationship and domestic violence and the assault stemming from that, and from your normal external third-party type of activities, where it's more your murder, your murders, your break-ins, your house robberies, and to a huge degree, there's also a huge amount of underreporting within the province that's in actual fact taken place, because people are simply too scared, or they don't even bother, because it's reached such a stage of the actual investigations being non-existent, that they'll just pretty much report a crime for insurance purposes and to hopefully claim back and let the insurance company go ahead and sort the problem out.
And that in itself doesn't paint a very good picture when it comes to getting to the bottom of the numbers and really just resolving the problems, really showing the lack of confidence in the community with the whole system when it comes to policing.
It's not just a lack of confidence from the community, it's a lack of confidence nationwide in our actual policing methods, in the training and the abilities of the police, as well as the police investigation on serious crime. Because looking at certain of those statistics, they're padded as far as the results, but they're showing convictions and serious convictions of 1.5% to 2% of the overall number of reported cases. Now, what's happening to the other 98%? It's not that we've got that many attorneys who are able to go ahead and spring every client. The fact is they're unsuccessful and padded figures in certain regards, and that's what also makes it very difficult to interpret in the long run. The statistics, and especially the propensity of violent crime, is definitely on the increase, and unfortunately there seems to be almost a pointing of fingers towards the communities not reporting. Oh well, there's this informal settlement, there's that. The fact is that if you haven't enough police, and you haven't got well-trained police, or there's corruption in the police, or people are simply not going to be reporting because of a lack of confidence, you can use whatever excuse you want to.
Yeah. But what about the part that the Gauteng Police Commissioner Allis was speaking to just a moment ago, saying that as far as the chunks of the problems are, looking at the breakdown of the figures that have been released, it shows that society is solving problems using violence. I mean, he spoke about assault, GBV, assault, common assault, and also looking at the impact of theft.
Unfortunately, that's actually it's a misconception, and this is the fact. Vigilantism and taking the law into one's own hands to solve the problems of what's going on and the lack of policing is a small minority. Your biggest problem is that realistically we've got a high unemployment rate. We've got people who cannot easily be traced. There's also a huge number of illegal parties in the country. We're also starting to see an increase in other type of factors, such as illegal mining and the Zama mining and contraventions of the Immigration Act, which also lead to certain of these higher violence crime. I'm not saying that everybody that it's all that's being committed by foreigners, but there's so much more of an opportunity. And in poorly policed scenarios where there are these informal townships that are being erected and lack of policing, like you find in the Honeydew area, and elements of also corruption, that's where the problem is. So that's where the issue comes. A lot of that, there's also confusions between what are the common assaults and the assault GBH, as well as tied to the gender-based violence increases, and where those overlap with the other gender-based and non-domestic relationship issues.
Another shocking, frightening revelation is that between the 1st of October to December 31st, there was a total of 2,344 rape cases reported to Gauteng police stations. Those are the ones that were reported to Gauteng police stations. And that in itself, that figure, excluding the cases that are not reported, is an average of about 25 rapes occurring per day. A really frightening number.
Oh, it's a terrible number. The fact is, and that's excluding, what's happened is that's just a cumulative amount of reported rapes. As we say, there's the unreported rapes, and then there's also those which are where there's also elements of revenge charges in that, where there's small percentages of that. So there are also issues where there's inaccurate and false charges. But the fact that we're even averaging something to that effect and numbers to that effect in any form of society is horrendous. And it shows that the sexual offences units are not actually being able to cope properly with the cases and investigate them properly.
Yeah, and I think
especially not ensuring convictions.
The data also showed that places most likely for rape to occur were at homes and in public spaces. So it begs the question: where are the safe spaces?
What also is dangerous in that, because there's an overlap, there's a lot of those, if one takes out of effect the relationship or even the date rape cases, if you look at that, a lot of those rapes are as a result of things such as housebreaking, robberies, other violent crimes. So now what you've got is getting a bit of a splitting of the statistics. That is all now. The fact is there's no jelly between what the statistics are actually saying and what the accurate picture is, because now it's not just a matter of rape, it's housebreaking, it's theft, it's robbery. There's all that. There's the assaults that are taking place, and a lot of those are showing it's a result of other type of crimes that are also involved in that. So it's not just simply the gender-based or the rape-related crime, it's the ancillary crimes that are more often than not affiliated to that, especially when they say it's in public spaces such as taxi ranks, as well as in homes where there's break-ins and robberies taking place.
Thank you so much. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Criminal law expert Allis breaking down some of the statistics released by Gauteng Police Commissioner Allis, the crime stats, painting a very bleak picture for the Gauteng province.